Hey everybody, thank you for joining us on another episode of the TWNRGY Podcast. My name is Aaron.
And I'm Adam Fernandez.
And today we're going to talk about a topic called cholesterol. And it basically is fat that accumulates in your blood. Some of it's hereditary. Unfortunately, Adam and I have elevated cholesterol because of our genetics. Typically, I think it's, or I don't know what it typically is, but for us, it's because of our mom's side of the family. But there's some different things you probably want to know about cholesterol. I don't know if you have issues with it in your genealogy, or if you don't, then you're fortunate, more fortunate than Adam and I and a lot of other people I know. But just to start off, years ago our mom had told us a couple of ways to just determine between the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol. The good cholesterol is HDL, and the way you can tell it's the good cholesterol is that happy starts with an H, so HDL is the happy cholesterol, and the bad cholesterol is your LDL, which you can just associate with lousy, L with the beginning LDL, so lousy cholesterol, and you want to keep your HDL levels to about 40 milligrams, at or below 40 milligrams. And then for your LDLs, you want to keep them at 99 milligrams, equal or below. But there's a third cholesterol combination, I'll say, that you have to take into consideration, and that's your total cholesterol. And you want to keep that total cholesterol number under 200, like 200 or below. That's ideal. That's not what mine's at, but that's definitely It's definitely what you want to try to, I'll say, aim to, whether it's through your diet, whether it's through supplements, and which we'll get into a little bit more later, or last resort for me at least. And don't take our advice; just look into the research.
Consult a physician.
Yeah, consult a physician, your doctor.
I'm no doctor. Only playing on TV.
Not me. I just very curious. But just consult a doctor. Whatever you do, don't take any of this by heart. Do your research, do your due diligence, and consult a physician, consult a dietitian, whatever you need to do to make sure you're doing the right thing based on your situation. But like I said, there's HDL, happy, LDL, lousy, and then your total cholesterol is the other thing that you want to take into consideration. And there are some diseases or risk factors associated with high cholesterol. And the first one is coronary disease, where basically, like I said earlier, cholesterol is plaque or fat that builds up in your blood from either genetics or from food that you eat. And what it does is it narrows your arteries. And when your arteries narrow, it can cause, like I said, coronary disease, whether it leads to a heart attack or something of that sort. And it just constricts the blood flow that's going through your veins. And then just on piggybacking off of that, as I said, it leads to a heart attack. As your veins are getting narrower, you're putting more strain on your veins, and one can possibly rupture and explode, and not a good thing. I don't know if they get to go in there. Don't know the full procedure, but they put stents just to widen your arteries to make sure that you don't get too much buildup, or I don't know, I think they clean up. It's just not a beautiful thing. They go through your artery in your thigh, I think, and then it goes all the way through your body, clears it out. Either way, don't want to go through that procedure. And I've heard a friend he was in Florida, and he had to go through that procedure. He had a heart attack while on he was only in his late 40s, had a heart attack while on a cruise ship because he ate a little too much. He always overindulged in regards to food. And so he had to stay in Florida for about a month or 6 weeks or so. Because
long enough time.
After that procedure, you're not okay to fly. So he had to stay down there. He had to spend money for room and board, the hospital fees, all that stuff. So that's why I try to be preemptive in regards to my health and take care of it, get my blood levels checked, eat right, do what I need to do to keep it low, because I don't want to be caught in Florida and having all these crazy expenses unless I'm partying. I don't party that much. But either way, I just don't want to do things I don't need to do because of my thoughtfulness or thoughtlessness. But other things that it may cause is a stroke. And stroke can cause neurological issues. It can cause death. And it can even cause paralysis through your body. So just another reason just to be precautious, preemptive, and rather than be reactive, be proactive about your health. And just get things dialed in. Like, you know your body. No one knows your body better than you do. Unless you go to the doctor quite often, then he knows your charts, your stats, whatever the case may be. Like a baseball card, flipping on the other side. 5 home runs last year. I don't know. I never got 1 home run. Oh, did you?
In the park home run, probably.
I never got any home runs. So either way, no one knows your body more than you. Like I said, unless you're going to the doctor quite frequently. But yeah, so be aware of what you're putting in your body. And just take care of your vessel, your temple. Your body is your temple. But
another disease that you can get is type 2 diabetes. Probably with that, you're eating terrible food. You're not. Yep. Somebody may not be working out, and all these different things. Pretty much where your liver gets all fatty, similar to the way that foie gras from like fatty duck liver is what happens.
Some of that in Europe. Pretty good stuff though, man.
Tastes like cat food.
It looks like it.
But yeah, that's pretty much what happens to your liver because they overfeed those ducks or wherever they are.
Yeah.
And geese, whatever, their liver just gets super like chunky and not supposed to be that way.
Nope.
And then that's what happens to us as people when we eat terribly, we don't exercise, we drink a lot of soda, sugary shit, and just get that fatty liver and that type 2 diabetes. So
even Diet Cola causes fatty liver. There's non-alcoholic fatty liver, which is
sweeteners, and like people think that sweeteners are good because it's not sugar, but it's some sort of sweet, and your body senses it, and it takes it as sweetness.
It processes it the
same way. Something's happening. Anyways, that's a different podcast. But
good idea.
Yeah. So. Yeah, actually it is. But
tune your own horn out there.
A little bit. But also, next thing it can cause is high blood pressure, which you're gonna get narrowing and hardening of your arteries, and that's not gonna be a good thing because that's also gonna lead to a heart attack. You could have a massive coronary. Boom, you're gone. You're not here.
Life too much, man.
Or you're just a shell of who you were in the past.
Yep.
I hope that never happens to me because I want to be as able-bodied as long as possible till how old I ever get. Hopefully I get old and they find these little robots that come clean out your body.
Get old, you already are old.
And you can look good and feel good for eternity, maybe. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Breakthrough in science.
Another side podcast.
Side podcast or sci-fi podcast?
Sci-fi. But also Black with man. The thing is with fats in general, they're good for your brain because your brain is 65% fat.
I got a fatty brain, a chubby little brain.
A chubby baby brain. That's my best brain.
You got brain fat. Keep it on swole.
You want to get your brain fat and get it chubby.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just that a lot of that fat kind of goes there, so cutting it out isn't going to be detrimental. But you wanted to say something?
Just brain fats are extremely beneficial from foods and just what is already in your body genetically. But I did want to touch on one last thing. As I mentioned earlier, our cholesterol is a little bit elevated. We haven't experienced any of these that I know of, hardening of arteries, coronary disease, stroke, as of yet, because we do keep an eye on our levels of our cholesterol, our HDL, LDL, and our total cholesterol, as well as our triglycerides. But one thing that we've done, it's fluctuated throughout the years. We've been on the medicines, the statins, this, that, and the other, and recently we've incorporated some supplements and also just gotten towards a mainly plant-based diet. And over the last 4 months, it's dropped significantly. And I do accredit it to the plant-based diet, as well as possibly some of the supplements that we're taking. But I don't know for sure or for certain what is the best thing that lowered our cholesterol. But I I give all props to the veggies, and that's what Adam and I say. Like maybe 95% of our diet is veggies. We have an occasional little bit of fish or seafood and chicken on occasion, and maybe some cheese here and there.
The occasion would be once a week.
Yeah, if that, yeah, sometimes. But yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. Thank you, dude.
But kind of don't suggest that you take all fats out of your diet, because thinking that you're gonna get a massive heart attack or anything. But just be mindful of the types of fats you're putting into your body. And maybe the good types of fats would be avocados, fish oil, and olive oil. Those are some good ones for you. That you can
all three we incorporate on a daily, regular, yeah.
Daily for fish and olive, but avocado here in like a couple
weekends
days a week.
For sure, but a couple days in a week.
But yeah, just those are good ones to incorporate rather than like a greasy burger, or steak, or fries. Those are the type of grease and
good
fat.
every once in a while.
Those are the fats that you're not going to really want to intake, and those are the ones that could cause you to have heart attack and diabetes, stroke. So
basically everything you see on TV when you're watching TV, on the commercials and going to...
It tastes good. If it tastes good, it's not good for you. So
yeah, I think it was Jack LaLanne. I remember saying here just recently someone had said something about Jack LaLanne. If you don't know him, he's the guy who was on the commercials selling juicers years ago, but he said basically anything that tastes good, rest in peace, Mr. Jack LaLanne. But anything that tastes good is bad for you. So when like even I'll say fruits, everybody thinks, oh well, fruits are good for you, but it's still just they're genetically modified. I'm not going to go off on that tangent, but they have a crap ton of sugar. So sugar is what causes inflammation. Inflammation is what causes us to age, and I just want to age it slowly and bow out gracefully. But yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, just be careful, be mindful of your diet, and if you're on cholesterol medicine, I took it many years ago. Honestly, it's probably been 6 years since I've even taken it, and I don't see my cholesterol changing significantly. I don't even remember what it was back then, but as we kind of mentioned earlier, Aaron touched upon, eggs, you're eating tons of eggs. 4 eggs a day, 7 days a week, if not more. And then I went to get my cholesterol checked, and then it just freaking skyrocketed. It was insane. I know that was the only thing I changed in my diet since the time I went before.
Good thing, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I took eggs, took butter, took all that crap out of my diet, and just had vegetable based. And then 4 months later, went back, and my cholesterol had went down 113 points. So I attest that to the added supplements and the better, cleaner diet that I had. I already had I thought I had a clean diet before. It was good for looks and everything wise, but it wasn't good for the inside feeling of me. But yeah, so definitely
we can always improve.
Yeah, so that's my anecdotal evidence, is just adding the supplements and having a mainly plant-based diet. In 4 months, my cholesterol went down 113 points.
Mine went down 86 points in the same time frame. Anytime ours have a significant jump down, he always has a better jump or
I'm a
drop.
little stricter, I guess.
He likes roller coasters, free fall.
So yeah,
here we go. The other thing I wanted to talk about is studies have shown that 2/3 of individuals are not affected by dietary factors in regards to their cholesterol. So they can eat the different items, whether it's the cheeses, the meats, all the different things. I'm going to go through a lot less in a second, but you can eat those things, those food items, and it doesn't affect your cholesterol levels in your blood. But unfortunately, I believe, based on how Adam and I were eating, that we're part of the 1/3 that does have a high variability of cholesterol in regards to your dietary habits. So dietary habits affect us negatively, and so when we eat the bad things that are on the list, our cholesterol tends to climb. And I'm just going to read a little laundry list of some of those items. that do cause your cholesterol to elevate if you are prone to elevated cholesterol through dietary means. And those items are egg yolks, not just the white, it's the egg yolk. Egg whites are good, but those yolks, which have the amino acids and all the fat that, and either way, the yolks.
For the 1/3 of people.
Yeah, for the 1/3 of individuals. And there's cheese, shellfish. I love shrimp, man. I like lobster every once in a while.
People.
A little shrimp over here. A little shrimpy dude. It's all good. Chip away at that ego of mine. Bring it down a couple notches.
Bring it down a peg.
Alright. Shellfish. Organ meats. Whether it's liver, heart, things like that. And I like liver. I've had it before. But I can see where it comes from. Because liver is very greasy. It's very gritty, and I'm assuming that is part of the reason why it can affect your cholesterol. But then also sardines, yogurt, fried food, and then that culprit, Mr. Fast Food that we were talking about earlier, the burgers, the fries, those processed meats and desserts as well. And desserts, it has, whether it's like ice cream and things like that, and the sugar, just all those wreak havoc with your cholesterol levels. But, and then also just some of the supplements that, Adam and I have incorporated that have helped to lower our cholesterol are fish oil. Fish oil, the only thing that's really shown to do is elevate your HDL, which is your good cholesterol, and you do want to elevate your HDL. It's your LDL, your lousy, that you want to bring down, but it's the cumulative, which is the total, that you want to lower to be below 200 or at 200, like I mentioned before. And also, ashwagandha is one that we incorporated in our diet fairly regularly. Like almost like every other day is what we do.
Every other day with the vitamins for the most part. The fish oil, daily basis. Ashwagandha, psyllium husk, every other day.
Yeah, and then there was a study that had shown that just by using, I think it was a 60-day study. It was a relatively short one, but the way they administered the ashwagandha, it lowered people's LDL levels by 11%. And that can be significant depending on how many, depending on what your level is total or for your LDL. But anyway, I can try to get it down anecdotally or some sort of study. I'm going to do it. The other one is psyllium husk. And I believe it was about, I forget what the study length was, but it brought down people's LDL. And I believe it was a total cholesterol by about, I think it was anywhere from 15 to 17%. And like I said, I just want to try to do anything I can anecdotally or just remedy-wise to bring down my cholesterol, whether it's my eating habits or it's just taking some sort of supplement, anything of that sort, just so I just don't want to jump on the statins quite yet again. But either way, we just try to do our due diligence to make sure that we're keeping and being mindful about our cholesterol. One second.
Ready?
Yeah, I was going to see this last thing.
My turn?
Let me see this last thing. I didn't finish it. And then in regards to the fish oil, like I said, we do our due diligence to do what we do to better our cholesterol. But in regards to the fish oil, you want to make sure you're taking a high quality fish oil. And I think I mentioned on the previous podcast, there is a website you can look at. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there are websites that have a gradient scale. I think it's a 5-star scale, the quality of your fish oil. So quality does matter. You don't want to get one that is, I'll say, I don't like to throw people under the bus, but like the Nature's Bounty that you can get at CVS or wherever. Those are the ones that aren't as high quality, but do your research and make sure you get a high quality fish oil. Also, just to help lower your cholesterol, as I mentioned, diet. Diet is key. It's integral. Whether you try to convert it to be more of a plant-based diet, make sure you lower your carb intake as well, whether it's breads, chips, pasta. Like I said, if it's good, you know it's bad. But bad is relative. I like to live an active, healthy life, so anything that tastes good. And I like vegetables, so I think that's a lie. Vegetables taste good, taste wonderful, and you don't need all those fake, like, flavorings,
seasoning.
Yeah, that these scientists are creating in labs. They're mad scientist type stuff. Blinding me with science over here. But I like nature. I like natural things, and so yeah, that's what I tend to gravitate towards.
But just to reiterate,
him as well.
Just to reiterate, these different diet changes and everything and supplement changes as well have helped us both to lower our cholesterol and feel better, have more energy. So I would recommend trying these things out, but I'm not a doctor, so I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you the way I feel, the results I've seen on paper from lab results on my blood.
Yeah.
So yeah, and just with vegetarian diet, vegetarian, vegan, whatever, it's different, but yeah, the two. But just eating a more vegetable-based diet is definitely going to help to prolong your life and just your health. So
studies have shown a vegetarian-based or more vegetable-based diets do prolong your lifespan. So if you don't believe me, read the book and look into the work of Dr. Walter Longo. But just it helps out a lot, and you're gonna, especially having too many proteins, it degrades your different cells and everything. So your IGF-1 cells, bam, pull that one out of there.
But yeah, so this kind of explains our cholesterol podcast, and I'm sure there's a lot of other things that people could do better off themselves as well. But these are the things that we kind of noticed, and we believe can help you just because they've helped us.
Anecdotally. But yeah, with that, like Adam was saying, with the protein that wears you down, it's that IGF, which is the insulin growth factor 1, and protein just basically increased protein, and that's a big part of our diets. It lowers your lifespan. I want to have as long a lifespan as possible. I enjoy life. I love my mom, my dad, my brother, my dog, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, friends. I just love life too much to not be aware of what I'm doing to my body. Acquaintances, cousins twice removed, this guy I met at the grocery store, marriage, aunt and uncle, someone kind of related. But anyways, I love everything about life, and if I am debilitated somehow, some way because of my doing, I would feel guilty about it. But but I find a way to get past it. I'll say, like my friend Steve. He had a stroke. He is in a wheelchair, but he does what he can to get out there, stay active. He works out. He does experimental things, like surgeries, whatever the case, but he is definitely inspiring to me. So if anything bad happened to me, I would want to try to do my